Prefixes. I could also call this metric prefixes. One of the things we do in science quite often is to change from milligrams to, say, grams. So this is a lecture to help you be able to do that. So some common metric prefixes. A small letter m represents milli, which represents 10 to the minus third or 1,000th. So we could have 1 millimeter is the same if I substitute in the small m for times 10 to the minus third. We'd have 1 times 10 to the minus third meters. Centi is represented by a lowercase c. Times 10 to the second is what it represents. If I had the value 2 centimeters, it would be 2 times 10 to the negative 2 meters. So I'm taking the cent t out and putting in the times 10 to the negative 2. Kilo represents 1,000. So you have 1,000 of whatever unit you have. In my example, I have 5 kilograms. To change it to grams, take out the kilogram or the kilo and replace it with 10 to the third for 5 times 10 to the third grams. Giga represents a billion or 10 to the ninth. If you have 7 gigabytes, you can replace the capital G with 10 to the ninth to have 1,000,000 bytes. In our first example, let's take nanometers and convert it to meters. So convert 520 nanometers to meters. I have 520 as my number. I have 2 sig figs. And my nano needs to be changed. So a nano is a billionth, 10 to the minus ninth. This is okay when you're working with it in a calculation, but I need to express it in proper scientific notation if it's a final answer. So carry your decimal 2 places to the left, and you're multiplying by 100 when you do that. Your exponent will change to 10 to the minus 7th. You're adding 2 to it. And your mantissa is just 5.2. Another example. Let's change grams to kilograms. A very common calculation in physics. A ball has a mass of 60 grams. Convert the mass to kilograms. So kilograms. Kilo means 10 to the third. So probably sometime in your life you learned that a kilogram is 1 times 10 to the third or 1,000 grams. So most often you see this comparison. What I like to do is take my 60 and set up a ratio of grams canceling on the bottom and a kilogram on top. Divide by 1,000, so you end up with kilograms. But remember to go back to your original number and check for sig figs. I need 3 sig figs in my final answer. And we could convert this to scientific notation, but I'll leave it just like this. Let's change micrograms to grams. A medicine is dispensed in 10.5 microgram increments. Convert the mass to grams. So you look up micro, and micro means 10 to the minus 6 or a millionth. So on this one, I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to take my 10.5 and the micro, I'm going to substitute in what it really means, the 10 to the minus 6th. Now, it's in improper scientific notation, so to express my answer properly without using my calculator, I move my decimal 1 place to the left, which means I'm multiplying by 10. My exponent changes, and my mantissa is 1.05 times 10 to the minus 5th.